Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling? You're in a meeting, you look around the room, and you realize everyone is nodding. Everyone thinks the exact same way. And sure, it feels safe, it feels efficient. But what if that very comfort is the thing that's silently killing your team's potential? So let's just dive right in with a big, kind of counterintuitive question. What if the very thing we all try to avoid, that friction, that disagreement, is actually the secret ingredient for a real breakthrough? Today, we're going to dig into how to break free from that echo chamber and build something way, way more powerful. All right, so first things first, we have to understand the problem. It's this strange, almost unsettling feeling when groupthink just takes over and any real challenge just vanishes. Let's get a clear definition of what's actually going on here. So at its core, the echo chamber is basically a giant feedback loop. It's the space where your own beliefs just get reflected back to you over and over and over again. Now, it feels really validating, right? But it's a trap. It starves you of the different perspectives you absolutely need to grow and innovate. And listen, please don't make the mistake of thinking this is just a social media thing. Not at all. Echo chambers are everywhere. They pop up in our offices, around the dinner table with family, even in our book clubs or sports teams. Honestly, they form anywhere we go looking for the comfort of familiarity. And this really shows a fundamental tension we all face. On one side, you've got the comfort of agreement. It feels good, it feels safe, but it's a direct path to conformity and stagnation. And on the other side, the discomfort of growth. It's challenging, it feels uncertain, but it is the only real path to innovation and ultimately mastery. Because, let's be honest, growth and comfort almost never live on the same street. Okay, so let's talk about the real-world consequences, because this is where it gets serious. A culture of conformity isn't just stagnant, it's actively dangerous to progress. It has a real, tangible cost. This quote right here from Jim Collins, it gets right to the heart of the first major cost: complacency. The second a team settles for good enough, they've just walked right into the danger zone. Mediocrity becomes the new standard, and that relentless drive to just be a little bit better than yesterday, it's gone. It's a trap that guarantees you never achieve greatness. Let's make this real with a quick story of two leaders. So, on one side, you've got Eric, the manager. He's a classic gatekeeper, all about control, all about hitting targets. His team, they feel totally boxed in, and innovation just flatlines. But then you have Emily, the steward leader. Her entire focus is on nurturing her team and empowering them. She builds a culture of trust and shared purpose. And the result? Explosive innovation and growth that actually lasts. The difference is, it's night and day. So, the big question is, how do we break this cycle? Well, it doesn't start with some memo from the top. It starts with individual courage. It starts with one person choosing to break the silence. We have to completely reframe what courage even means. It's not about being fearless. Nobody is. Real courage is making that call, that judgment that something else, the mission, our shared values, our commitment to doing great work, is more important than our fear of rocking the boat or getting rejected. And here's the stark reality of it. When we see a lack of courage in a group, what we're really seeing is conformity in action. It's that human tendency to just go along to get along, to stick with what's safe and familiar, even when we know deep down it's not serving the mission anymore. Okay, so here's a practical toolkit you can start using today. Step 1, cultivate curiosity. Seriously, go into conversations trying to understand, not just trying to win. Step 2, practice something called the kinetic pause. It's simple. Before you react, just take a breath, check your assumptions. This lets you trade a knee-jerk reaction for an intentional response. And third, uphold truth. Prioritize being forthright and find gentle, strategic ways to introduce a different point of view. All right, now let's scale this whole idea up. Because while individual courage is the spark, it's the leader's job to build an entire environment where that spark can catch fire. An environment that doesn't just put up with dissent, but actively forges it into real wisdom. So the perfect alternative to an echo chamber is what we can call the forge. Just think about that metaphor for a second. A forge is not a comfortable place. It takes raw materials, like knowledge and intuition. It applies intense heat through deep thought, and it uses skillful hammering, that's the debate and discernment, to create something new, useful, and incredibly strong: wisdom. See, a leader is either building a forge or an echo chamber. The gatekeeper, our friend Eric, controls everything, and he becomes the bottleneck. But the conduit leader, like Emily, channels resources and authority through them to empower their team. The change in language says it all. The gatekeeper's team is always asking, "May I?" The conduit's team declares, "I intend to." So how do you actually build a forge? Well, you need clear rules of engagement. You have to create psychological safety, a space where challenge is actually welcomed. You set ground rules for respectful debate. You demand active listening. And maybe most importantly, you align everyone around a shared mission that is bigger than any single ego in the room. Okay, let's bring this all home and focus on the ultimate payoff. Why go through all this discomfort and hard work? Because those incredible aha moments that drive real progress, they're almost never born from consensus. They are born from productive conflict. I love this quote because it just flips a common assumption right on its head. We've been taught to think that agreement is the sign of a strong team, but real strength and real resilience comes from being able to harness the power of our differences. In today's complex world, that isn't just nice to have, it's a massive strategic advantage. At the end of the day, moving your team from an echo chamber to a forge isn't just some nice cultural improvement, it's a performance imperative. It leads directly to better ideas, a more resilient team, and solutions that are truly innovative because they've been tested and shaped by fire. And this brings us to the ultimate mindset shift. We are all trained to see disagreement as an obstacle, something to get around so we can get to the real work. But this reframes everything. What if the disagreement, the challenge, the friction is the path to the best solution? The obstacle becomes the way. So let's end with this. There's an old saying, every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. So if your team is stuck in groupthink, that's not an accident. But the good news is, you can redesign it. So my question for you is this. What is the one courageous question you will ask this week to introduce a little bit of heat, to break the echo, and to start building your own forge?